Hey YouTube, this is TechSaviSolution, and I'm here with an unboxing of the Windows Phone 8X by HTC. This is HTC's flagship device for this year for the Windows Phone 8. So I'm going to go ahead and open the box and get started with what is inside, as well as some startup steps that you'll encounter once you power on the phone. So if we just dive right in, we have this whole Texagon driving screen protector cover thing that you get on your new phone. And it's kind of difficult to get the phone out first, so you have to pull up on this tab to get it out of the box. Let's put this aside. And then you'll notice straight from the get-go that you have a micro SIM tool that you can use in order to, goes like around right here, to go ahead and pop this latch open to put in your micro SIM card. And if you don't have a micro SIM to start up with, you can go ahead and purchase a micro SIM card cutter from either Amazon or eBay, or ask your local AT&T retailer to see if they can cut your regular SIM card out for you. But that aside, let's go ahead and screw it into the box here. Take this flap out. And inside we have quick start guides, your warranty information, and also safety and regulatory guide, all that stuff. And make sure you don't lose this label, because if you need to send it in for repairs and such, you need to put that on your phone. And then we have our micro USB cable, as well as an AC adapter. And that's about it. So the HTC Phone 8X for AT&T comes in either the 8GB model or a 16GB model, and the one I'm reviewing right now is the 8GB one. I want to note that in terms of storage, you can't expand it with the micro SD card or any SD card in general. You'll just have to settle with the storage that's on board with the phone and the cloud storage that Microsoft offers for all of its Windows phones. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just peel this off. And if we just take a look at the exterior of the phone, see, it's a really nice finish. We have this kind of midnight blue or it's called California blue, but it's a blend between a dark midnight blue and this kind of purplish color. It's kind of a cool tint, because in like one setting of light you see it's blue, but in another setting of light you see it's purple, and you kind of get both feels for both colors. But it's a really nice design. It feels great in the hand. It's a 4.3 inch screen. But because it's a little taller and not as wide, it's easy to hold. It's pretty great. On this side we have nothing, no buttons, but on the top we do have our microphone, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. And then on the top we have the power/lock button. And then on the side we have the volume rocker. And then of course a slot for your micro SD card. Or sorry, your micro SIM card. You don't have a slot for micro SD. And then this is, it's a feature that is prominent in all Windows Phone devices. It's a camera shortcut button, and I would like to see this button on Android devices. There are buttons of these types on Android devices, but not on all of them. So it's nice to see that there's one included in this device. On the bottom we have a micro USB port and our secondary microphone, which is pretty cool. And then on the back we have our 8-megapixel camera with flash, and then HTC logo with Beats audio equipped with it. And then because this is the AT&T model of the HTC 8X, we do have its logo. And then on the bottom is the speaker grill. Now I'd like to see just improvements on this device. The speaker grill to be on the side over here. Just in my opinion, if you lay down your device like that, and you try and play music, then the speaker grill obviously is covered. And the volume for this isn't very loud to begin with, so I'd like to see that over here. I'm just putting my own opinion into this unboxing. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and power it on, and we can get started with the steps. I'd powered it on before, so it doesn't really have a startup right now, but it takes about, like for the initial power on, about a minute to get started with the phone, so just bear that in mind. But it should take a little less time as you continue using the phone and powering it on. So I don't have a SIM card in it right now, so I'm just going to close that. And interestingly enough, you can go ahead and set up your phone without a SIM card, which is great. There's not many people, not many like phone reviewers like to always have to switch their SIM cards to different phones. So it's nice to be able to work with the phone without a SIM card. Anyways, let's get started, and I'm going to choose English as my language. Close that, and then accept. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose custom settings and uncheck all of these boxes. Just set up my time really quickly. It's about 2 o'clock right now. Go next. Oh, and I forgot to just talk about the front side. Nothing too much. You have your front-facing camera, your speaker grill, and then interesting thing about the speaker grill is that you also have your LED notification light embedded in here. You'll see it maybe later when I get more notifications, but it's a pretty cool feature. And then on the bottom you have your back, search, and your Windows button, which if you tap on that, it'll automatically take you back to your home screen, kind of like the home button for iPhone. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just sign in later. And it says a few more apps still need to finish installing. Should just take another moment or so, or two. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for that and skip to the part where we can actually take a look at the phone, and that'll be later on in this review. Okay, so it looks like all the apps have finished installing, so I'm going to click next, and it says all done. And it says because I haven't signed into my Microsoft account, there are a few more things I won't be able to access, but I'm going to go ahead and say done and show you around the interface just really quickly. So here we have what's called live tiles, or just regular tiles, and if they display information, it's live tiles. So what it does is pretty much just displays whatever information was located in the application. So for example, if I had actually loaded all of my contacts into this phone, then under people it showed faces of the people and such, so it gives you a preview of everything that's going on. So how about if I just go to photos? I don't have anything in the camera roll right now, so I'm going to take advantage of the camera shortcut button to say no, and I'll just go ahead and take a picture. So let's see, bring over the AT&T box, and take a picture this way. So you press halfway to focus and then all the way down to take a picture. And the lighting balance on this is a little weird because I have the fluorescent lights in the background, which doesn't make for great lighting for recording videos. But anyways, I make do with what I have. So I have that photo in my library, and just go like that to go ahead and view it. If I go back home, it should display on photos, which it isn't right now, which is weird. Oh, I know, because if you have, right, forgot, we have these photos that are already preloaded onto the camera. So it was displaying this, these photos on the live tiles, but eventually, once it cycles through all of these, it'll go back to the camera roll and start displaying photos from there too. And if you notice, I go back to photos, notice that the background changes and it shifts based on what you have on your album. So eventually, again, it'll go back to the photo that I just took with the camera. So that's kind of what Live Tiles does. It shows previews of the data that's on the application. So aside from the tiles, the live tiles, you have the option to, say I go ahead and long press this, option to resize the tile, because if you have too small of a tile, you're not going to be able to display all the information that you want. So if I go like here, it'll display the latest message that I have in my text messaging app. Then here, if I just want like a larger button, and then here if I want it to be more discreet. Consequently, we can also take out tiles, and then also put in new tiles. Pin to start, and move them around. And notice that some tiles only have options for 2 sizes. so the flashlight app can't be like exceedingly large like this one. You press back to go ahead and get out of the editing interface, and the whole the whole feel for it is quite smooth. I like the physics engine on this. If I were to have like a preference on like the smoothness, well, when I say physics engine, I'm using it loosely in terms of like the little nuances in scrolling, or like, you know, when the top goes up like that, pops back up, and just like the smoothness of the interface. I would say I do like the Apple interface to iPhone, iOS, that physics engine a little better, but I also really like the one on Windows. And in Android, I mean, after Jelly Bean Project Butter, it's pretty smooth. So they're all quite up there, but I'd go iOS, Windows, and Android. But of course, it depends on the phone that you have and the specs. That will largely also determine the smoothness of the device. But just to show you around what I mean by the smoothness of this, I'm going to go ahead and connect to my Wi-Fi network and take you around the internet browser. So if I swipe this way, I have access to all of my applications. I go to settings and just go to Wi-Fi. Turn it on. And I'm going to go ahead and log into my Wi-Fi network. Alright, so I have my Wi-Fi all set up and ready to go. And just to show you what I mean by the smoothness of the system, I've loaded up my newly launched web page, and I'm just going to show you like the pinch to zoom and everything. Oops, that wasn't the best example. Alright, so pinch to zoom like that, or if we double tap to zoom, it'll zoom to fit the page and wrap the text. So you can see it's all pretty smooth. It's quite great. So while I'm doing this, let me just tell you a little bit about my website, and not to totally advertise it or anything on this video, but I'm kind of doing that. Sorry, let's go back to the Internet Explorer. It's TechSaviSolution.weebly.com. I don't know if you can see that. And it's basically my tech bite kind of web page. It's a news web page primarily, and instead of having like full-fledged articles where you're reading paragraphs and paragraphs about a single thing, I basically have just the bare bones information that you need to know about, let's say, the Samsung Galaxy camera. So it was reviewed, and then here are the main features of it. And then if you actually want to like read the full review, I have a link to the full article. And if you want to watch it, I have a video of like this camera phone or whatever being reviewed. So it's sort of like meant to offset my videos, which are usually really lengthy, and give you like a bite of technology every day. That sounded really cheesy, but like if you wanted to just get like in the loop with everything and you don't have time to read all of the stuff, or you don't feel like reading an entire article, then you have this tech bite that you can read. So it's pretty cool, and I hope you guys check it out. I'll be updating articles pretty much every day or so, so you'll be in on the latest in technology. Anyways, that's enough on my rant, but you can see when I'm scrolling and such, it's all pretty smooth. If I load this web page again, you'll see how quickly it loads. And this is like full-blown web page. Go ahead and wait for those videos to load. If I click on a video here, this is my Jelly Bean in-depth walkthrough. We'll go ahead and load it that quickly. And I'm on a Wi-Fi connection, so okay, it's supposed to be quick, but still. It's TechSaviSolution here, and I'm here with a... So yeah, it's pretty much the point of showing you that. Oh, that's cool. It shows the comments, or it shows the little notes in the video. But anyways, that is the Internet Explorer example of how smooth this phone is. And if I were to show you other applications that take advantage of the smoothness, per se, if I go to Photos, see just the whole, like, scrolling left to right, or sliding left to right, I mean, it's all really fluid and smooth, has the right amount of resistance and the right amount of flow to it, which just makes it really like favorable to the person that's like doing the scrolling. So if I go to albums, for example, click on a photo here, Like I zoom in, it's all really smooth, there's not really any lag. And if I zoom all the way out, I have access to all my photos, and again, the smooth scrolling you can see here. And also with the applications. Slide to the left, everything is really smooth. There's like virtually no lag with that. Oops. And same here. So yeah, you can see all these cool animations too. It's the whole page flip thing. But let's pretty much first look at, you know, the HTC Windows Phone 8, HTC 8X in other words. We'd also check out the volume rocker. You can see instead of having a graphic depiction of the volume that your phone is at, it has a numerical like showing of it. So you have 18 out of 30, 30 being the loudest. And then you also have a quick access to whether you want it to vibrate or not, or vibrate or just ring and just vibrate or ring and vibrate. So yeah, that's pretty much a look at it. I'm going to be doing a full review on it, so don't be like, oh my god, you didn't go through all the applications, because I'll go through it in that review, so be sure to check that out. But in conclusion with this unboxing, my initial impressions of this phone is that, one, it's very well built. Love this like rubberized finish, doesn't really attract fingerprints too much at all, and it's, you know, I don't have access to the battery, and I can't put in a micro SIM card, which are like not micro SIM card, micro SD card. My goodness, I can't expand storage, basically. Those are my biggest gripes, but other than that, I mean, it has really nice feel to it. Screen is great. It's protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 2, so you don't have to worry about putting on those screen protectors, and it's all protected, and the viewing angles are pretty decent. The colors are very bright, vibrant, so I'm really looking forward to working more with this phone. I have a great impression of it so far. So that's pretty much what I have to say about this phone, and be sure to check out my full review where I get to say everything about this phone after I've worked with it. And if you like what you see, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate your feedback, and I'll see you guys next time on the next video review, tutorial, or news announcement. Thanks, guys.